Did you do it yourself from your computer?
I didn't select the right channel to go into the things.
Into me, into my voice.
Yes, you could put it that way if you really wanted to. Silly Conversations, the podcast. Your host, Denzel Mills. You could do it that way if you wanted to. Anyway, my friend, so how are you?
With my low back pain.
Oh, you've got back pain?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
But is this because you haven't been to the gym, or is it because you've been doing too much gym?
Too much gym, too much yoga, and too much descargar lorries.
Unloading. So you're unloading lorries?
Unloading lorries, yes. School materials for my secondary school.
But when you say school materials, like what?
Like notebooks, pencil cases,
backpacks.
Yeah.
I mean, pencil cases are the heaviest things in the world, aren't they? I mean, pencil cases are quite possibly
full of.
I mean, you've probably got an aeroplane, a container, and then pencil cases in the level of weight. Or do they just use? Or do you have, like, in your school, pencil cases are so special that they're actually super heavy?
The material is they're made out of gold. Sorry.
So why do you have gold pencils?
Because we are golden people.
Okay, so that explains it then. Well, really, because I'm a platinum person, so I should have a platinum something, like platinum.
My sister has a platinum hip.
Ah, yeah?
One of her hips is made up of platinum.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to get a platinum knee then. I'm going to get platinum eye. I'm going to have a platinum right side of my body. There you go. Tell your sister to beat that. I'm just going to go all one side, platinum. And then you can call me Platinum Man.
Sounds nice.
So, you are who, my friend? Tell the world. Tell me. Well, I know who you are. Tell the world who you are.
I'm Lola. Despite of my voice, I'm 50 years old.
We never do the age thing. Everybody always does. Well, tell a lie, actually. Tell a lie, because you were having a little bit of a crisis with the age thing, weren't you?
Yeah, I did.
And then I told you that you are 50 and fantastic. And
yes.
And has it changed? Has your 50 crisis thing changed, or you still have a little bit? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's very good. So, 50. Fantastic. Being able to unload gold pencils from a truck. Okay. Yeah. And a fantastic person to have conversations with. And that's why you're here today. So, Lola, welcome to Super Fantastic, the world's greatest, the show of shows, Silly Conversations. Many times we've had conversations face-to-face and online about some of the silliest things in the world. But I think we're going to start being a little bit serious first and then see where it develops.
Yeah, okay.
So what do you do? Because I know what you do. Tell the world what you do.
I do many things. So can you lead the way?
Oh, can you lead the way? You see?
Please. Yeah.
Well, let's see. We'll do a question and answer. So what do you do? What's your profession?
Okay. I'm a history teacher in a secondary school. Yeah.
And you do it in English as well, don't you?
I do, yes, because I love both history and English.
And that's why you like me, because I'm historic.
Oh, yeah, so old, my friend.
Exactly.
My old China. That's why I called you, yeah.
Yes, me and the Egyptian gods, and the Greek gods were just hand in hand. So, and then what other things do you like to do? What other activities you like to do? Because you talked about this, you mentioned earlier. So what other activities do you like to do?
I practice yoga Iyengar.
And how long you been doing yoga?
I've been doing it for 14 years to try to mend my body because I was a professional tennis player and I was absolutely ruined because of 12 hours of training every day.
So, from professional tennis player to podcaster host. Yeah. I don't know if it's a big jump up or a jump down. Which one?
It's up always.
All right, yeah. So let's start. Well, you've been doing yoga for 15 years, yeah?
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about maybe becoming a yoga teacher since you've been doing it, or you just do it for fun and for health?
I do it for health, and I have, although I've been practicing it for 14 years, I am aware that my body is not corrected yet.
And do you think your body will ever be corrected?
Don't think so.
I mean, you could do the old things by just like Genghis Khan, in the old days when they used to tie people to 4 horses and they used to tie their hands to the horses and their legs to the horses, and then they had the horses running to the 4 corners of the earth. You could try that.
Maybe yes, because I don't see other way to put my scapulas
Scapulas.
away. Scapulas.
Yeah. Or we say shoulder blades, really. I mean, I think
Yeah.
the technical term, like the medical term, is scapula because that's a part of it, but in English we just say shoulder blades.
Sometimes I suggest my yoga teacher to do how to say that in English, un trasplante, a transplant? No.
So you want a transplant of shoulder
Yeah.
blades.
I think that's the only answer.
and why? Why would you want to? Is it a fetish thing you've got for shoulder
No,
blades or something?
no, because they don't go to their place.
Well, that maybe is connected to the whole of the arm and the rest of the body.
Yes,
You
that's the
know.
problem. The rest of the body.
So that's it. So then, yoga. So you've never thought about the idea of maybe changing profession and becoming a professional yogi and teaching yoga. Have you ever thought about that
Never.
idea?
No, I too humble to do that.
What do you mean you're too humble to do that? You don't need to be humble.
Yes, I am humble, and I know that I can't. I will be never will be able to teach yoga in my life.
Yeah, but I mean, just imagine you teach somebody yoga, okay, and then that person manages to get their scapulas, their shoulder blades, into positions, and then you can say, "I'm so jealous of you."
Oh,
You scapular person. I'm so jealous of you. But then you can say, but you only managed to put your shoulder blades in that situation or in that position because of my teaching.
my knowledge. I'm the source of knowledge.
Exactly. And then you'd say, so even though I can't do it, I helped you to achieve it. And that's the goal in life. You're a teacher. Help people achieve their goals.
No, that way. I prefer teaching history.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Well, we'll leave it at that then, So at the moment, what you're teaching your kids in history, because I remember a couple of years ago you were doing, was it the French Revolution? Yeah. So what you doing now, or what's happening now in terms of the curriculum in English for history?
I'm teaching. It's kind of weird because I'm teaching Spanish history in English in secondary school in Valencia.
And then how do your students approach or take the idea of actually learning history in English or learning something in English? It could be mathematics. It could be, I remember you had a sports teacher who did physical education in English. Remember you told me? Yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
kick the ball, hold the
Yeah.
ball, throw the ball. I mean, that's really difficult stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, how do they take it? Because it's not grammar, it's not grammar stuff, sentences, structure. It's learning about history just in English. So how do you approach it? How do you kind of get them engaged?
Because I use when my work consists on finding the
No, exactly.
no,
Atinon.
Atinon, you failed to me. Forgive me, Atinon. Forgive me, please.
Exactly.
Don't punish me.
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is that my work consists of
Yes.
looking for the synonyms.
Mm-hmm.
So they realize that we use very Spanish words,
Mm-hmm.
just pronounced differently because it's English, and it's quite a therapy for them to see that constitution is constitución, and they're similar, and they get more confident. Yeah.
Because this is one of the things when I think, I think sometimes when you look at the formal words, we chatted and we talk and we use kind of expressions and idioms, etc. But when you look at the formal words and you look at the formal words in English, everything that finishes with Tion, I sound like a grammar teacher. But anyway, which is not my objective in life. Anything.
I know.
But anything which finishes in Tion is exactly the same in Spanish. You change the T for a C. So all these words, situation, constitution, elevation. I don't know why I say elevation. Just comes to my head.
Or
Communication.
abolition.
Abolition.
It's the same. Abolición and abolition are the same.
And then people kind of go, oh, because it's English, it's a different language. I don't know the meaning of this word. And sometimes people need to kind of just open their eyes and their ears and their thinking a little bit and actually kind of read between the lines to see what it means or even guess. People don't even try to guess the potential meaning of the word in the context of what they see. So sometimes that's a little bit of frustration. So what's the frustration about teaching history in English?
It appears just at the beginning. As soon as I do my therapy, because I forgot to say that many words in Valencian are exactly the same as in English.
And give me one.
Picture.
Okay.
Picture is pitcher. Is the same.
And I will give you one. Hey, this is me. I'm flexing. I'm flexing now. For example, in English, a late dinner in the Victorian times, they used to call it supper.
Exactly.
Sopar.
Yes.
Just call me Mr. Valencian Master.
Yeah, you pronounced it perfectly. Very native, actually.
Well, I mean, I did spend a few years giving classes in Sueca, so, some things rub off. Some things rub off occasionally, but the majority of the time didn't understand anything, but some things rub off. And we were talking about similar words, and you were talking about infidels. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
exactly the same as in Valencian.
All right. And do you ever use the word infidels in just general conversation?
No, but in history, it's very important. It's a very important concept.
Would you like to introduce the word more often, infidels, into the general populace of using English language?
No.
There you have it. The word infidel will not be used in regular conversation from Lola's mouth.
No, not regularly, no. I'm more vulgar.
No. And it's the same as in Spanish, vulgar. Are we playing this game now? You can name one and I can name one. So, yeah, but that's the thing. I think, especially when teaching, and I think but you told me that sometimes you have your little techniques to get the words across and to get the meaning and the understanding. So explain some of the techniques you've used, because you've explained them before. To be quite honest, I've never listened to them, so I can't remember any.
Come on, don't be so honest.
It's not being honest. It's just being vulgar.
Yeah,
it's just being an infidel. So tell me some of the or share with us some of your techniques that you use in class to help get people engaged, because I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, Yes, but now they don't come to my mind now.
And then,
Oh, yes, now I've got. Sorry. Okay.
no, go,
To
go.
hold. Okay. For example, the last thing I taught them was the verb to hold the power. Yes. Okay. And I explained them
No,
that
explain to them. That
to
was it. Yeah,
them.
to
My
them.
English surprises me sometimes. Okay. So that in Spanish we say tener el poder, but in English you sostenéis el poder. Okay. In England. And how I explained that, because I said, okay, imagine the queen and the crown, the big crown of England, very heavy, yes. So when she's crowned, she has to hold the crown, the symbol of the power. Then they say, okay, so in England they hold the power, and we in Spain tenemos el poder. Kind
Okay.
of, yeah, that way, for
So, for
example.
all you people who one day may be crowned king or queen in an English speaking country which has a king or queen,
Mm-hmm.
and at that moment when you put your hands on the crown, on your head, and you can say, I got the power.
No,
Yeah.
my students will say, I hold the power.
And that's the key thing. I hold the power. Yeah. And then one of the things, I mean, you talked about being, when you were younger, many, 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 many minutes ago. Aha, you thought I was going to say years. Many, many minutes ago. You said that you used to play tennis professionally. What was it like? Yeah, just give me a quick summary of what was it like kind of going through that process of being and doing the training to be a super professional.
I started at 8. I was 8 years old, and I fell in love with tennis. And I remember when at school they used to go to excursion. Is it called excursion?
Yeah.
Yes. That day, I used to make the most of the day to go training. When I was 8 years old, I don't have to go to school, so let's go and play tennis. That was me at that age. When I trained for 12 hours, I don't remember feeling exhausted, or I don't remember. I was in my medio, in my,
You're
I
in a
don't
kind of
know.
like you're in your salsa. There you are. You're in your
Yeah.
moment, You're in your moment, yeah?
I don't remember that to be extremely tough, or I don't know, because, well, okay, I was very young, obviously. Yeah, I ended up at 21. Yes.
So in Spain you were like ranked. You were ranked at the position 21st in Spain.
21st in 1993. In the,
1993, like
yes,
a million
last
years ago.
century.
Last century, a million years ago.
So sad.
When Optimus Tenithus, the Roman god, was there, 1993. But yeah, so 2021 in the ranking. That's kind of cool. I've never done anything where anybody's ranked me. And
Yeah.
then, but what would you say was what did you miss out on? Because obviously, if you were training from 8 up to what age did you kind of decide to stop being a tennis player?
At 21,
And so
21 years old.
between 8 and 21, if you think retrospectively, what would you say you kind of missed out on? One thing that you missed out on doing all that training, if you think retrospectively now.
Nothing, because as soon as I finished, I retake all the things I didn't do while I was training the whole time.
Okay, well, that's
So
good.
I haven't missed
Yeah, and I suppose
any
that
experience.
at 21 you still have enough time to kind of do other things. You didn't go until you were like 35 or 40 or 110. So yeah, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
for example, if you had to do it again, tell me what we're doing here. Tell me what we're doing. Yeah, third conditional. If you had to do it again, okay. If you had to do it again, what would you have done differently?
I don't know, because the boyfriends I had, they were professional tennis players as well. Nothing. It all was okay.
Let's go
You
back a
know.
little bit. Let's go back a bit. Boyfriends or
Ooh.
boyfriend?
Duh.
Thank you very much. We don't want to create a very bad image of Lola. English teacher, I was going to say English teacher. You're good enough to be an English teacher. That's the thing. I tell you, you're good enough to be an English teacher, and I think you could give classes very well. Obviously, you teach history, and your colleagues from the school we're not going to mention, but if they ever found this podcast and listened to it, I would say the following: Lola's a better teacher than all of you put together.
No, because I always explain to my students that to be an English teacher is much more difficult than to be a history teacher in English.
I don't know. I disagree. I think if you
Why?
talk about if you talk about phonetics and you're talking about grammar and all these kind of things where people who are going to be linguists, maybe. But I think if you're trying to get teenagers and people in school, university, adults to be able to communicate to a certain degree of fluidity and being comfortable, you don't have to know why this adjective and this verb is in this position, etc.
Mm,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know that.
I'm good
So,
at that.
okay. Well, you teach me, and then I will put it into practice, and then
Okay.
I'll give you feedback and say, Lola, that didn't work.
Not
That
in an English class.
yeah, but yeah, and then
Because yes, because I'm talking the whole time about the same vocabulary,
hmm,
and it's a very clear context.
yeah, but you could still talk about. But it's the same. I mean, imagine if you were a teacher who did. I think they call it now. In the past, in my day with Zeus and we used to call it home economics. And home economics used to be where people used to learn to cook, cooking classes. I think they call it like something, was it not like technology or something, whatever now. We used to learn how to cook. And if you were giving cooking classes in English, it's exactly the same. There's technology, there's vocabulary that you're going to use regularly, and it's going to be the same vocabulary, because once you've told people how to make a cake, the only difference is you change the blackberries for orange, you change the orange
Mhm.
for, I don't know, carrots and things like that, but the structure is still the same.
Exactly.
So then in your next history class, just say, what period of the Spanish history are you talking about now? What dates?
Now we are in the 18th century.
So there you go. So you can say, as well as in the 18th century, people held the power, they also made cakes. And they made cakes with the following ingredients. There you go: flour, eggs, sugar. And they used to get the
Okay.
slaves to mix it because they didn't have a Kenwood mixer. And you could just
Yeah.
add that. You can add that into the mix. You see, I'm connecting things here into the mix.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you really enjoy doing, apart from your work, apart from doing your yoga classes and trying to get your scapulars, your shoulder blades, into positions that the world has never seen. And now you're going to you're going to the gym regularly, like me, kind of.
Yeah, I'm a gym goer as
You are
well.
a gym goer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like a gym goer every millennium. I can never say millennium.
Millennium?
Millennium. I can't say that. So
Yeah.
you just say every 100 years.
Okay.
Words you can't say, find an alternative way of expressing yourself. So I'm a gym goer like every 100 years. Lola is a regular gym goer. How often do you go to the gym?
Twice or 3 times a week.
And you divide it into all these different sections, like today's legs and upper body, lower body, etc., don't you?
Precisely, yes.
And do you use do you have like a personal trainer now, or do you know your own routine? You make up your own routine based on
I'm
experience.
I'm a lucky woman because my husband is my personal trainer
Ah, yeah.
as well as my cook.
As well as your husband. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you got three into one.
Into one.
Yeah. This could be a new advert. Are you looking for 3 into 1? Could you? Yes. You know, it could be something. So, and then so you go regularly to the gym, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what's the thing you like doing most in English?
What's the thing? Oh yes,
You know, because
I love
you're obsessed with something. Tell the world.
my idiom.
Idioms.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know because it's another English is more than learning English. That's how I can explain it. It's a step more.
Okay.
One step beyond.
Beyond learning English.
Yes.
So that puts you into that special group.
I don't know. I'm a humble woman. Remember? But
A humble woman. So I want a motorbike. Bought a motorbike. It's a very nice motorbike. I have to admit, I do like your motorbike. And remember, I told you about the that couple who were traveling around Scandinavia. Remember, I sent you the YouTube video about this couple traveling around Scandinavia in by motorbike. They've started a new series. I was going to send you, but then I forgot. They started a new series, and basically they're traveling through Spain to go to the Sahara Desert. I don't know why the Sahara Desert. So last week they were through the north of Spain because they came over from the south of Britain, from Plymouth, I think, and they arrived in Bilbao or somewhere like this, and they were doing the route in the north of Spain. I think going through Portugal, that's their plan, and then go back into Spain and then into Africa. So you might like that because you're a nice motorbikey person.
yes, but remember I told you they are young people.
Yes, but they're also tight.
And my low back pain is with me. Remember, I'm old to do that.
You just get some heat packs. And at the end of the day, just put the heat pack on your lower back. And then secondly, you don't need to be going camping. You can I don't know, you can find some palace to drive up to in your motorbike and then say to the butler, you know, Jeeves, please take the bags off the motorbike and deliver them to my room.
Okay. If you put it that way, I could think about that. Yeah. Okay, to do it.
And I think you'd really enjoy that. That's going to be your homework. Organize a route to go on your bike for 10 days. There you go.
Okay.
A 10-day biking route.
But my butler, who's going to be my butler?
No, your husband. He does the other 3 things, so you may as well add your husband to the butler's job as well.
So 4 in one.
A 4-in-1. It's going to be like a Swiss Army knife. You know, the Swiss Army knife where you can open it and you've got like scissors and things. You could just say, okay, my husband's a Swiss Army knife. There you go. And you could just go traveling around. But you are, because who is the owner of a new tablet, eh? And then also, who is the owner of a new tablet? And who is a new Amazon Prime member?
Don't remind me. Don't remind me of that.
So okay. First of all, let's go with the tablet. Okay. So are you happy with the new tablet now? Have you set it up and everything?
And I have how to say link with my cell phone. Link my accounts and everything. It's everything is done. I don't know how, because I'm an archaeologist. I'm not a technology woman. I think that the tablet helps me to,
So what the tablet looked at you and says, Lola. Oh God, it's Lola, archaeologist. history teacher, fan of idioms, but no good at technology. And so the tablet says, I'll do the connections.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. It's the perfect size. Thank you very much.
Well,
But I don't have to.
I didn't buy it. I just suggested a model, a brand. So there you go. And then the other thing, and let me tell you, let's put it into context, people.
Yeah.
Okay. She needed a tablet. We were chatting, and I said, okay, have a look at these particular models because it falls into price range and also what you want to do. Now, she's not an Amazon Prime person. She kind of resists the whole Amazon Prime thing. Found the tablet that she liked, and we said, okay, we'll try it. And then if you don't like it, you can return it. But Amazon has this process of trying to get you to lock you in. You see, phrasal verb there, to lock you in to their Prime system. And as she was doing it on her phone, it kind of said, oh, did it say something like if you want to be Prime or you don't want to be Prime and get next day delivery, etc.? I have to admit, I was rushing you just a smidgen. A smidgen. Hey, I've never used this word with you before. A smidgen. Do you know what a smidgen is?
Never heard that before.
You see,
from your mouth.
things just never stop. A smidgen. A smidgen is like a very small amount.
Smidgen.
Yeah, so you could say, oh, I'll have a smidgen of whiskey in my tea or a smidgen of something. So a very small amount of something.
Mm.
So I was kind of rushing her a smidgen to buy the thing because I'm a consumerist. Buy, and buy. And then she did. And then it kind of automatically put her into the Amazon Prime thing, you know. And but have you deactivated your Amazon Prime now?
Not yet. I'm making the most of the free send for free.
But how long is the free?
1 month.
Oh, so you're taking advantage for the 1 month. So really, I did you a favor.
In the end, yes.
Oh,
you did.
And you can say, I did you a solid. There you go. That's another expression.
Oh,
to do you
a solid.
Yeah, I did you a solid. Okay. So we're twins now. We're Amazon Prime twins.
Yeah.
Okay, for a month.
Yeah. Time flies, my friend.
Yes.
You're getting old.
I am getting old. It's amazing. I haven't got a statue or a plaque in a square yet. I'm going to stay here until somebody gets me a statue in a square.
So wait for it, my friend.
Exactly. I mean, if there's one,
sit and wait.
If there's one of Christopher Columbus and there's one of Lord Nelson and the Queen and Queen Victoria, I'm going to wait until I get my statue in the square.
Yes, because you made me speak in English, then so people should have listened to me 4 years ago, and they couldn't believe.
Well, I didn't make you speak English. I mean, it's not as if I was there and hitting you with a hammer on your fingers every time you use the wrong preposition.
But you made it. You made me. Yeah.
Made sounds a bit strong. Why don't you say encouraged? Sounds a little bit. Encouraged me. Sounds a bit better. Say it out your own mouth. Say.
Okay, let's mend it.
Yes, exactly. Go back now. Okay.
You encouraged me, yes.
Thank you very much.
You encouraged my English to be, because I wasn't able to speak.
Well, you were able, I think you exaggerate a little bit now. You were able to speak, but the order was a little bit like Yoda.
Yeah. And I wasn't able even to introduce myself. To say, hello, I'm Lola. I live in Valencia. I was sweating, shivering down my spine.
But that's because of the sciatica.
Okay, it's true.
That's because of sciatica. And so, so you like the idioms and you like working on the idioms. When we have our little chats and everything, we always kind of introduce, or it just kind of comes up in the general conversation, which is the cool thing. And even though you study them, you also then try to apply them when we have, our conversations and things. I'm getting serious now because this is silly conversations. The educational part. And you try to apply them, which is the important thing. If you feel that you can actually try to see or try and practice and introduce this new word expression, you'll feel more comfortable using it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, has your son started to connect to one of the greatest podcasts ever to be released on the stratosphere and the airwaves of podcasting?
Yeah. He's your first fan.
Well, what can I say to that apart from thank you and pay me some money? When he becomes a super engineer or something and he gets that good job, I'm going to send him an invoice retrospectively for all the episodes. For all the episodes of the podcast. One day he's going to get like a 10,000 euro invoice based on retrospective listenings of the podcast.
When we're famous.
Yes, when we are famous and it goes into the stratosphere. And in years to come, when people think retrospectively and they look at and they think this was something of genius. And when they consider how great, specifically, my famous ad, Hoy no puedo, love that. Yeah, it is a work of art. A work of art. What we're going to do is we're going to leave it here and we're going to make the formal finish, and I'm going to thank you for your time. Any ending notes that you would like to add? Any particular notes you would like to add before we close today?
Okay. I would like to thank you for having me, but not in a biblical sense.
I'm going to leave it like that. Thank you very much. The voices and the names have been changed in this podcast to protect the wicked. For any grammar, information, or correction, please ask someone else, not me.